gamers, we just finished Juggernaut on normal. We were doing weapon swap staff into sword and shield. Well, it's an axe and shield, but Juggernaut is defense and earth mastery. Defense and earth mastery. We could go over our gear. Our main setup is Staff of the Magi. This is burn damage on auto attack and fire damage based. The big thing here is you want it for the percentage fire damage, 23% fire damage. You can get that pretty high. You can get it like 36, something like that. And then it always has recharge on it. We put Prometheus's Flame for more burn and fire damage plus attack speed. That's our weapon on our main swap. On our offhand is a axe, like I said, and shield. And we're using a massive of Tinkerer. Massive prefix is just bonus damage. And then of Tinkerer is 2 charm slots. This is from Atlantis, obviously. Same deal here, Prometheus Flame plus Penclaw. We were trying to set this setup up for a little bit more physical damage than just fire damage. You still don't want to neglect our Prometheus Flame. And then on our shield, we put Spiny Shell, which is flat physical damage when you hit with your shield. So the idea... and we can get into our skills a little bit later, but the idea is to use your Staff of the Magi, auto attack a little bit, and then you can see on my bar, batter and shield charge. When they are available, you charge in and then you batter, and then you weapon swap back. Because the idea with Staff of the Magi is that it has recharge, so it's recharging your shield charge a little bit faster. So then you swap to hit with your shield, you do a batter to hit again with your shield, and then you swap back. That's what we were doing. And one other quick thing, if you guys have seen Ring of Flame, well, you'll know that Ring of Flame early game was just murdering everything. So we didn't even really need to weapon swap that much. The idea with leveling with Ring of Flame and shield charge is to just keep you in combat, like keep you to the next mob. Let's finish going over our gear first, though. As always, I played with Hallowed Hat, Stonebinder's Cuffs, and the plus the skills from the Golden Scarab. So I'll quickly go over that. Plus the skills, you can get up to +4 on normal difficulty pretty easily. +3 is very easy. Stonebinder's Cuffs here gives plus the skills on the bracers. They drop from Act 1 Gorgons, Geomancer, Profaners, and the Hero Monsters. You can also farm the Queens for that. I farm them in the Labyrinth. They have Elemental Resist. They have plus the skills always on them. 1 on Normal, 2 on Epic, 3 on Legendary. So those are my go-to bracers, basically. This rolled here with minus requirements was actually kind of nice. I almost always put Amun-Ra's Glory on early in the game for some decent health, and the force completion bonus on that charm is Vitality Res. So that's piece 1 of the Holy Trinity. Piece 2 is Hallowed Hat. Hallowed Hat is a prefix that has plus the skills and Vitality Resist. With energy and health regen, so that's really nice. We vendor shop for that one. Essence of the Iron Will of Ajax on here for stun res because we had the completion bonus with 145 health. That's why we're using it right now. Previously, we were using the same charm that was on here, Amun-Ra's Glory for vit res and health. Health is pretty nice on this tune because we're playing a little bit hybrid, so not full sending defense. Not full sending strength items. And then, so finally, then Golden Scarab Force Completion bonus is the plus the skills. So you farm this in Act 2. You can also get it in Eternal Embers, but obviously we're not in Legendary. So Act 2, farming this up, you need 5 of them. The Force Completion bonus, like I said, is plus the skills. This is a Spellbound pendant. Spellbound is really, really strong. The minus energy cost is not useful for the Ring of Flame, but everything else that costs energy, this reduces their cost there. And then the 16% elemental damage, that is like OP. That's a very nice piece here. Continuing on with our gear, looking at our boots, this is another really high sought after piece. The Of Pegasus. Of Pegasus is 20 Ellie res, 15 Ellie damage, and movement speed. Now, the prefix on here is also really sought after, Diogenes's, which is percent elemental percent intelligence and percent energy. So this is a really good combination. And then, as always, I put Hermes Sandal on here with force completion bonus of 20 poison res. Very, very nice piece. Got lucky there. Moving on, our chess piece, the Wandering Goat. If you guys know the goat, so it's another plus to skills. This is a mage piece, so you can see we full sent enough intelligence to get there. We didn't have to send too much because Earth Mastery has some intelligence from its bar, so that's pretty nice. Last couple of pieces we have our ring slot, Ring of Shang, we're just using for pierce and poison res. The percent pierce damage we're not taking advantage of at all. The dexterity is nice too, and then plus attack speed is pretty nice, but really we're just using this for resistance. We had a different ring setup previously with like health and bit res charm, so swapping over as you need. Basically on normal, that's the game. Our other ring is Hail of Endowment. Hail is percent strength and percent health. Endowment can be OA or DA. In our case, we got offensive ability roll. And then I have a Monkey King's Trickery on here. This procs reduce resistances when you hit with your auto attacks or your shield. You get some melee res, some skill disruption, and then I always force it for pierce res. As you can see, we're not really high on pierce res at all. Normally I have a lot higher pierce res on my characters. So that's nice. That's our gear. Finally, we have an artifact slot, Cinderbolt. This came from the Act 5 quest. We were using the other, I can't remember the artifact name, but it gives plus to Ring of Flame. We were using that previously. This actually has 5% more fire damage than our previous artifact. This also has pierce res on it, so kind of fulfills a requirement there. We were going to farm for a golden belt. Golden belt has percent strength and pierce res on it. So okay, so that's our gear. So like I said, Juggernaut is defense mastery plus earth. Let's go over earth first. The standard leveling procedure is 1 point earth enchantment, and then you full send Ring of Flame. That'll take care of Act 1 and 2 completely. So that's what we did. We basically kept working on earth enchantment. We have it out as 16 out of 12. That's our plus 4 to skills. So that's 145% fire damage. With our Staff of the Magi out in our main weapon, we have a 308% fire damage. So that's massive. That is really, really massive. And then we only lose a little bit by going to our weapon swap. So that's pretty respectable. We maxed out the next part as well. Brimstone is 30% physical damage and then 182 burn damage when you auto attack and hit with shields. So any physical damage gets multiplied basically. So that's huge. The next node of Ring of Flame is Soften Metal. This also costs a lot of energy, by the way, so you need to be careful of that. But this means that your Ring of Flame also does 13 physical damage. Remember, we're multiplying physical damage here. 30% of 13 is not very much, but you can get it a little bit higher, so that helps. And then additionally, reducing offensive ability and reduced armor. Minus armor means even more physical damage, so it does actually add up. We'll probably lower it a little bit in epic and legendary, but basically leveling quickly, this is really, really good. We did 1 point stone skin. This is global armor and fire res. You do absolutely want a 1 point heat shield. This gives burn and fire absorption and then physical res. You have to keep reapplying it, but it's absolutely worth reapplying. And then you basically beeline for volatility. This is 33% chance of 123% physical damage, 245 fire, and 245% burn. So again, another global fire and burn multiplier plus physical, right? So that's the idea of a Juggernaut is fire, burn, and physical damage. We did pick up 1 point in eruption. You put down a volcanic kind of like eruption that comes out of the ground. It spits out 3 to 4 fragments. They all do 56 physical damage and approximately 62 fire damage. So it's quite a nice boss nuker, or it thins down the pack as you run by. So that's basically Earth. We will pick up Fire Nova for more burn and fire damage, and then the Impair aim, like ailment here. That's a really nice skill to get in Epic. And then moving over to defense, there was a lot to get here. We wanted to reduce requirements for armors and shields. This also multiplies your armor absorption, which is the amount of physical mitigation your armor provides, basically. So, but minus 30% strength for shields and armor. It's pretty nice. We are using batter plus its first add-on. Batter hits with your shield, and then rend armor hits multiple targets and shreds its armor. So 1 and 1. We will continue to scale rend armor. You don't need to scale batter. You can if you have free skill points, but you don't need to scale batter. This will just increase the amount of flat damage added and a small amount of percent damage. My idea of a Juggernaut is just continually getting a better shield rather than wasting points in batter. Rend armor is the really strong one because you'll hit and you'll shred even more armor the more points you put into this. So that is the ideal one to scale, in my opinion. But you can play slightly differently. Now, because we're not auto-attacking a ton, I'm not picking up Pulverize, I'm not picking up Disable, and I'm not picking up Shield Smash. We may 1-point them, but we haven't yet. We're also not using Quick Recovery. This is a really good piece. This is a really good skill to pick up. It costs 50 energy and lasts for 18 seconds, but you reduce the cooldown of block. We're not playing where we keep our shield out permanently. That is something I would recommend if we're not playing a mage hybrid. One thing we are using is battle awareness for free defensive ability and free like global armor. The reason you pick this at least 1 point up here is so that you can full send Iron Will. Iron Will basically will cap your stun res out for you in one skill. So you should always play with Iron Will. That's just free stun res. Really, really nice. We do want Rally. We 1-pointed it when you're under the effects of Rally. It's a nice big heal. It gives you health regen. It gives you global armor, but also you can pick up Inspiration. This will give you energy regen and total speed during the effects of Rally. So total speed during Rally and energy regen will help offset the cost of Ring of Flame. And then also during the effects of Rally, I picked up Defiance for elemental resist and damage reflection. So these three are nice. We will keep Rally at 1. We'll probably max out Inspiration, and we'll definitely max out Defiance. So those are kind of standard pieces. Another thing that is really, really important is Adrenaline. The entire tree is really good for Adrenaline. When you take damage, you have a chance of activating for 12 seconds. Big health regen. The next node is minus recharge on the cooldown. This lasts, like I said, for 12 seconds. And then it has a 7-second recharge. Actually, it has a 24-second recharge, and then 1 point takes that down to 7 seconds. So you absolutely want that. I spec'd out of Resilience many different times to like 1 point something else, but you do want at least 1 point of Resilience, especially when playing with plus the skills. So, and then finally, defense-free action. While you're under the effects of Adrenaline, you get 33% fizz damage, 33% bleed, and 14 total speed. If you can keep uptime of Adrenaline up, which with Resilience you can, defensive reaction is absolutely amazing. We did have free skill points, so I'm just going to spend them here. Yeah, so now we're at 43 fizz, 43 bleed, and 18 total speed. Yeah, that's massive in my opinion. And then the base is not to be slouched either. It's not to be scoffed at. It's a free health regen, and because the uptime is pretty good on Adrenaline, it's just like a ton of health regen. So finally, the last two pieces in this Juggernaut is Unyielding Phalanx. It puts down a line of soldiers, and you can rally them for damage reflection, and then they also attack in a line. It's a pretty nice boss killer. We haven't picked up Perfect Block. I probably won't use it. It's a little 2-bit micromanagement, and we're weapon swapping a lot, so my shield's not all the time active. So Perfect Block does block all incoming damage for a very short period, so it's quite nice, but we're probably not going to pick it up. And then last but not least, a Colossus form. We're going to full send this. It's a really nice cooldown. At 40% damage absorption, 50% physical damage, 40% strength and health. You do lose some speed, but man, this thing will keep you alive. This thing will kill bosses. It's super busted. So that's about it for our Juggernaut. I hope you guys liked it. Like I said, we just unlocked epic difficulty, so weapon swapping with a staff into a sword and board is totally viable, and I had a pretty good time doing it. I will see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye. Oh!